Yeah, welcome back to the fourth age group workers. We got a game coming up now. We got France versus Canada. A well-disciplined team. France are middle of the table at this moment in fourth place, and Canada, unfortunately, is bringing up the rear in 10th. We have a disciplined team against a young Canadian team, and I think joining me today is Rami. Welcome, Rami.
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here. Nice to be with you, Dave.
And Rami, not only you're talking in the mic, you're running the computer.
I am.
You're
I've got a mic stand here with me just to help me out a little bit so I can talk to you as well as show you some pretty pictures of the boys playing today. What are we looking forward to here, Dave?
I'm just glad I'm not doing that, Rami, because I'm a guy. Don't forget, I can only do one thing, and you're a female, and you can do about 5 or 6 different things. So
Yeah, well,
proving
we'll
us
see
right
how we
here.
go.
And we're lining up for the Canadians. We have number 2, Leo, 3, Mackenzie, 4, Remy, 5, Francais, and 7, Jean, 8, Hugo, our local Hobart, and we sort of adopted him, and 9, Lance, Casey, 11, 12, Sam, and 13, Kettle, and 14, James, all under the watchful eye of experienced Canadian senior player Jordan Fries. As the game is underway, we're 30 seconds into it, Rami. I'm expecting the French to totally dominate. Here's this game as where they're placed on the table. What's your thoughts?
Well, certainly we've got the Canadians coming here as a bit of a development side. I don't think any of them have a full squad here in Hobart with us, but it's great to have them here anyway. It's good to see these young countries like Canada and the USA bringing squads, even though they're not completely developed yet. It's good to have them here.
Yeah, I might get Rami to fix the screen here because it looks like we've got U.S. versus New Zealand again. But
So we do.
and she's going to fix that, and I believe we have the French in their white uniform going right to left against the Canadians in their dark blathers, and that. So we'll get that sorted, but it's still 0-0, and the French have been asked to move back and be defend in that sort of that game. Yeah, and we're moving back. And we're setting up for a free puck for the Canadians. They'll get an opportunity to take possession of the puck and have an onslaught onto the French defense as we're congregated on the areas. And I know both teams in the history, and I've seen a few of their games, and they all play a very closed channel, waiting for those opportunities. Number 9 from the Canadians, Lance Gottman, is taken in the corner, and he's fighting hard against, it looks like number 8, Luca Macazan, as and the French are driving up in their typical strength, flat on the bottom along that back wall, trying to muscle that puck into the back. And it looks like a first goal, Rami, but I guess we'll wait for the referees. What did you see in that passage of play?
Bonnet 4 for the French there. Just wonderful play. We're just waiting for confirmation. Oh, no, hang on. That looks like a no goal called by the refs.
Yeah, right you are. The French have been asked to move back as the Canadians try to quickly get into position to take advantage of this free puck, but I'll be sure they'll be working to move it to their channel, and they take it to the right side, and the French spread defense quickly covers them and moves over to the top of the side. And we have the French number 10 picking up a lovely pass from his friend Damien Xavier, and they're looking to move it and attack it, and they're doing a bit of slide tic-tac-toe as they drive straightly into the goal tray, and they're looking for a first blood, but the Canadian defense is holding staunch on this onslaught by the French, and most people would realize that some of the French Canadians they speak French. And it's a bit different than the Parisian French as we're looking closely at number 1, Anton Gramont, who made a lovely drive up the wall, but unfortunately was pinged for something. The referees asked him to move back. Obviously accidental because he's been left in the water. No warning given, so it's just the bobbling of the puck, Rami. You've played a number of times on this bottom. You know all about the bobble on the puck.
Yeah, it can be a bit slippery in this court here, and I've heard some players complaining about the grooves in the bottom of the pool getting caught up there a little bit, but it doesn't seem to be bothering either of these teams too much as the French drive up again. Going in the corner, the refs have called something there. That's Belle Biffin. Seems to call a goal there.
Yeah, it looks like a goal. The puck, after that lovely underbody slide by one of the French players, moved it into his player waiting on the goal tray, and he just slid it into the goal tray. And we're looking at making sure who we got on who scored that goal.
It looked to be number 15, but I can't see a number 15 for the French there.
Yeah, no, we don't have a 15. It might have been 5, Vincent. And we're waiting for confirmation from the deck refs, but the game is underway. Again, the Canadians held off for about 5 minutes, but this time the French win the strike, and they take a 1-0 lead, and they're making an onslaught drive. Fake to the outside, move the puck through the middle, and hopefully they'll recycle the channel. This is a single effort by this drive, and that a super effort as the French just drive it straight through, Rami. That was pretty amazing watching.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
We've got a no-goal call there. There was some fantastic double and triple teaming there from the French.
Yes, number 12, Anton Dumont, is extremely disappointed, but all the players were down in that single drive. That was about a 30-second, 40-second drive by all the players straight into the goal tray, but unfortunately, that bobble, it looked like it's bobbled off their bat, and the Canadians regroup and are able to clear it, but the French defense is all over top of them as they learn to push the Canadians back in defense. And I must say the first half, at least the first 5 minutes, have been nothing but in the Canadian half, as it looks like either referee Jenny Williams or Helen have made the call, and they're asked no, it's the other Australian female referee.
That's Belle Biffin there.
Sorry?
Belle Biffin, I think, by the look of
Yeah,
things.
it's Bev there. And it's really exciting to see a number of female referees. Rami, you must be excited about that.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've had Hannah in here, the coach of the under-23 women, really happy about all the representatives from women, not only in the referees, but in our under-19 and under-23 women's divisions.
Yeah, and as is for those of you who've watched Glory Days, we had a few referees, and each time, and Angus, the chief administrator of this, who's doing a sensational job organizing all these referees, indicated that he's much happier with a female referee because they actually take a bit of a bigger picture and don't focus in on the narrow bit of the game, which some of the guys do in their refereeing things. But I must say the refereeing in this competition has led to the high level of standard that we come to enjoy at an age group world championships or any world championships. It's the highest level of referees, even if it's younger. There are some, and it looks like the French have scored number 2. The referees have confirmed, and we're waiting to hear back who the goal was scored by, as one of the referees explaining to number 3 in the Canadians, Remy, the long Saint Pierre Chambon Nielba. The long coat hanger name, the game what we name it. It's very long, but the referees have gone. We still haven't heard who scored that goal, but it is 2-0 for the Canadians. 8 minutes into left in this half, and let's see what the Canadians can marshal up with under Jordan Fries, the experienced Canadian senior player. And it was a pleasure having Danielle here. Hugo here with us in Hobart. Do you get a chance to play with Hugo at all, Rami?
Unfortunately, I've been out of the pool for a number of months now. I'm looking forward to getting back in after this tournament, though. It's really inspired me to get back into hockey, watching all these fantastic teams playing.
Did you have a lot of rowing commitments this year?
I sure did.
Yeah, you're pretty much a championship rower. Did your team win this year again?
We did. We had a really fantastic season. Not such a successful campaign at the Nationals, but, we're looking forward to another strong tournament next year.
And I heard rumors that you possibly might have an opportunity to go over to the U.S. to do some rowing. Is that still on the cards?
So I'll be moving to the U.S. In late August. I'm really looking forward to playing with the United States in underwater hockey as well, if I get the chance.
I don't know. I've a bit of my past. I mean, it was a rowing at university, and the American rowing program is very strong. So I don't know if you'll have time, but where are you going to be based? Do you know where you're going to be based?
Yeah, I'll be in Rhode Island, and I've heard there is an underwater hockey team there. I'm really looking forward to meeting them. But also I hear there's a strong competition in Boston and Connecticut.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you will if you're on Rhode Island. It's a very small area, but I assume that's on the university campus?
Yeah, so I'll be at Brown University.
Yeah, and it looks like the French are driving through the middle of the pool as we were speaking about university in Rhode Island. It's a lovely university. I've been to that campus a couple of times, and I think you'll really enjoy it there. You better pack your woolies. It's a lot colder there than it is here at the moment. And I think this morning was 6 with a bit of sea fog, and I think we're moving to a big high of 12. But at Rhode Island, Snow above your head, Romy. That's what you have to visualize.
Yeah, and certainly for the rowing conditions there, I'm looking forward to a frozen river, especially in the winter months.
Yeah, as my university at Trent University, rowing at the head of the Trent, early morning training, we had to chip the ice off the oars and make sure the oars didn't break. Back then, we didn't have the lovely carbon fibers that you have today. We did still have a bit of the wooden, and some of our oar locks were constantly frozen. We used antifreeze on the oar locks to reduce the temperature on that. And I tell you what, the boat was full of clothes by the end of the morning rowing events. We started on about 50 layers of clothes with socks on the hands, and then by the end of it, our boat wasn't full of water, it was full of clothes.
Yeah, but luckily for us, so rain or shine, there's always a pool available for us to play hockey in.
And as the Canadians called the timeout, and you can see Coach Jordan Fran doing the writing instruction to the boys and saying, let's refocus, guys. This French team, we're holding off the defense, but we actually have to gain possession of that puck, get it to our space so we can actually turn it into some attack. And I'm sure the French coach, Laurent Paris, has been telling the boys, keep going what you do. Don't let up. Make sure you try to keep the puck clean on your bat, drive it towards the goals, and keep your numbers in support, which they're actually doing right here off the bat. And you can see the lovely support being provided by number 10, Damien Chavert, who is setting himself early so he can actually make that puck wide, cause the Canadian defense to spread a bit, so give an opportunity in the middle of the pool for the French to attack through.
And I'd wager that that the French, that is, have had a bit more opportunity to train together than the Canadians have. And a lot of that's about the geography of the country these teams are coming from, France being a slightly smaller country and Canada being so far-flung. I imagine we've got players from both the East and the West Coast here from Canada. Looks like we've had a call pulled up by the referees.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right there. I remember speaking to Hugo early on, and he's saying they had selection camp, and their next camp was here at the championships when all players were together. So, like us in Australia, they had to travel many miles, and they saved all their Canadian dollars so they can come out here to Australia, which would cost them a fair packet. It was good to see Hugo spend some time out here learning a bit more about hockey and getting some. First night he arrived, he was telling us on the couch. He had three. He arrived and he couldn't believe the number of people here playing in Hobart, which we do have a large number. Not the biggest comp. Probably the biggest comp in Australia next to the Perth, but not as big as New Zealand. As the French look like they've popped in goal number 4. The referees, there's one referee confirming. All the referees confirm it's a goal. And it looks like number 1, Anton Gramaras, has scored the 4th French goal with 4 minutes left to go in the first half. And it's just pure discipline by the French in their support player. You can see the numbers and the lines. Everyone knows what's going on. And you're right, Rami. It's just a numbers game in the amount of time. And the French have a lovely program down there. I wish we had the opportunity to play, but they have a very structured, disciplined things. You either turn up to training camps or you're out of the team. And it's lovely to have that luxury of any coach would love to have that. And it goes right through the ranks in the women and in the junior boys all the way up to the senior ranks. And I know speaking to Jacques, a longtime player for the French, he in our broken communication, because he speaks very little English and I speak very little French, but we got to the bottom of it and said, they're very disciplined there, and if you don't do the right thing for supporting the team, you're out, and the next French person's waiting to go in. So it's a young Canadian team. They're still working on developing through the years. They probably got a number of players in the team who are eligible to play in the next couple of times, and the French can recycle these young fellows up into their senior ranks.
I'll tell you what, though, I'm pretty impressed by the Canadian team now. They're sitting in 10th position on our ladder. But we've got them holding their own quite strongly against the French team, who are sitting in 4th.
Yeah, and the Canadians are right up deep in the French and get a set play to see what they can do with this, and maybe get some blood on the scoreboard against the French, who are all on the bottom of the pool defending that tray, trough, or box or net, as all the different countries call it. But yeah, the defense was pretty strong by the French, who repelled the first attack by the Canadians and unable to mount a second attack as the French looked to clear it back into the Canadian end, as the Canadian defense scrambles back in defense to establish themselves. As the French recycle it once again, the Canadians clear it to the wall channel.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of teams taking it into the wall and especially into the corners. And for those of you who aren't playing, it's a very safe place to put the puck if you're on the back foot. Very easy to defend along the walls and in the corner.
Yeah, you're right there, Romy. There's really only two places you can go, and one is deep out to the left in this case, or middle out in the left, or back out the back door. It becomes a lot easier to defend as opposed to the middle channel, which I like to call the danger zone, or the high percentage of goals being scored, because you can go just about everywhere to score a goal. And as we see the Canadian defense trying to ensure that it actually stays in there, the French are doing their best to draw it back into the open area where it is a bit easier to score. And you can see the French team, two of them waiting on the goal tray to pop it in, and we're seeing either looks like number 7 or number 3 for the French. That's either Pierre Alonso or Thomas Griffin, who would have put that goal in. And you can see some of the frustrations on the Canadian boys. But guys, come on, this is a well organized. It was awarded to number 7, Thomas Griffin, who scored that goal. And again, one of the teams of I think it would be the French this time is called a timeout. Well-deserved timeout for the boys with a 5-0 lead. I'm sure the French coach would be saying, boys, let's just keep our discipline, keep our structure right, where Jordan will be out there trying to calm his boys down and get that disappointment off their face that they just expressed after the 5th goal goes in. But, lads, you got to remember that this is a well-oiled, disciplined French team. And you got to be proud, and let's stick to our game plan. Let's get our minds back on it. Is that some of the advice you've got during your games, Romy?
Yeah, looking at this, I think the French are really controlling the puck. They're really following their own game plan a lot better than the Canadians are right now. The Canadians are just letting the French control the puck a little bit too much, letting them move the puck where they want to, and they're being a bit more reactive rather than making plays themselves. They're focusing more on just responding to the French.
Yeah, by the gesturing of the French coach there, I thought that he was he's behind the score, but obviously he was not happy about some things and asked the boys to tighten it up. But I guess that's the way they have to prepare themselves for later on games. I think they have another game later on today against, and my understanding is that they're going to play the Australians later on. So I guess he'll be, seeing the result of the last game down to the wire against JB, and I believe the French went down to JB, so they'll be practicing and tuning their disciplined plays and in this game. But at the moment, they have to contend with Canada, who are on the back foot once again, deep in their end. The French have done their traditional thing, lock it up on the wall, drawing the defense in, and then quickly recycle it. You can see the French players lined up, waiting in the mid-water to bottom water, and lining up and taking up all the space to try to do it. But we have a break being called. It looks like obstruction against the French, and the Canadians will once again get control of the puck, Romy.
Yeah, we've seen a very tidy game from these two sides, actually. Not too many fouls called up, no kickouts yet. Haven't even seen a team warning yet, Dave.
Yeah, you're right. And it's sort of these two teams actually get on and play the game. They're sort of very disciplined. It's good to see some of the other teams all starting to tighten up their discipline in their referees. But we've reached the halfway mark of this game, coming from at the Aquatic Center in Hobart live. I hope everyone's enjoying that the stream. We've got a 3-minute breaks as the teams change and regroup as the French take a 5-0 lead against the Canadians. And once again, folks, if you're online, you're watching this game in replay, or you're watching it live in Canada, or watching bonjour, good morning to our French fans. If you're watching this later on, you're enjoying this. Just a bit of stats for you I'm going to throw back out to everyone, Romy, is that we have about 4,000 minutes, 400,000 minutes of videos. And just to give you an idea, that's 276 days. It's almost a full year. It's well over a working day years, because a working days in a year is about 221. So 276 days of video streaming for you to watch free. And I must admit, it's the best quality streaming I've ever seen in a very, very long time in my years playing underwater hockey and being part of it. And it's free. Isn't that fantastic? And we do have a call out for people. If you really enjoy it, throw $1 in the kitty for us. And currently, we're up to $2,600, and our target is $10,000. So day 5, a few more days to go, and we'd like to get closer to that target, Remy.
Yeah, and keeping in mind that no one in here in the commentary box is getting paid. We're all doing it just because we love the sport so much. The money will go all to this wonderful sport, just to try and improve everything we can, supporting the players as best we can. And we've got these cameras brand new in, not just using GoPros these times. I think we've got...
Yeah, 6MM, was it, or 6AA? I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure Sean is cringing back there because I can't remember who helped us with buying these. At least this high quality, high definition film, so we can give you these live, beautiful streamings in there. And a few of our other sponsors. Obviously, the state government has been fully supported. So has the city of Hobart by turning their aquatic center over to us. And Rami, we both play here a lot of times, and we know how busy this pool is, and now how pool time is like hen's teeth. It takes us a lot of opportunities to get our pool time, and we all value it. The aquatic center for almost 2 weeks of the play, to give it up, and we thank all the patrons for their patience in this. But listen, this is a World Age Group Championships, happens every 2 years, and we're privileged to have it here in Hobart, and I hope everyone's enjoyed having our guests from all the other countries here as we're 6 seconds ready before the game starts for the second half. And we got 5 goals for the French team, who are dominating this game, in my opinion. It's always been in Canadian with a few moments of minutes in the French end, but the French do win the strike, and the Canadians are coming out, and hopefully they'll show us the true Canadian, that spirits never let die. And I'm sure Jordan will have revved up his boys and say, boys, let's try to get some blood on these French.
And have you had divided loyalty between Canada and Australia when they clash, Dave?
I do, and I only do that because my mom constantly reminds me of all the teams I'm missing back home, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Blue Jays, and all the sporting teams that I follow there. And because she's an extreme avid sports fan throughout my growing and developing here, she travels down through the States following the golf. She's always at the Masters tournament watching, but that loyalty gets torn. But I tell you what, I've coached the Australian teams for a number of years, and there's no when we play the Canadians, I'm on the Australian side, mate.
Looks like we've just had a kick out there for the French. Just waiting on confirmation to see who that one was. I'll bring it up for you when I can.
Yeah, you can just see the amount of training and the physical fitness that these French players go through. I know the regime's quite intense, and as I said, to keep up or you get out. And I know a lot of the senior players will be watching this from all the other countries and going, oh, well, geez, look at these young lads. Look how fit and strong they are. And I know my boys are already well and truly into their training program. And we're looking forward to our trip to September, as the game here is French. The Canadians are holding their own in this second half to begin with, but the French, even with a player down, are looking to drive home their advantage with a bit of emotions and a bit of a thing going on against them. But the Canadians are repelling their defense quite well, Romy.
Yeah, it's been very impressive from the Canadians here. As I mentioned earlier, such a young team to our wonderful sport. And although we are 5-0 down to Canada, it is still a very impressive game. I don't think the score quite reflects how hard fought this has been.
Yeah, and just that, we got a referees making a signal. Yes, they're signaling a goal, and it looks like a goal French, a shorthanded goal. And that was a quick call by the referee. I'm sure that was either 2 or 3. He used one hand, and a few fingers were being held down. But I think Rami got it straight on there. As number 2, Pierre Amant, has put in the 6th goal for France, as the Canadians, playing a player up and the French a player down. The French hit a shorthanded goal. They're still shorthanded, Rami? Yeah.
They are. Very impressive to see. Oh, and we just had a break there.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
And
impressive. Sorry, Dave, you go.
no, the game's underway. The French win the strike again. You were just saying, were the French still shorthanded on that
They
one?
are. They may have just had that player jump back in. I'll have a look for you. Yeah, we're back to 6-on-6 now.
Yeah, 6-on-6. But I think that goal went in not at the same time as he was joining, but probably added to the support. But it was a good pressive like this. This play here is they're well protecting the puck, recycling it from where the play was, but he sees the open side and he continues it down to tuck that edge of the pool and tries to flick it into his inside player who's streamed into it, number 12 and number 6 down on the bottom. You have Anton and Lucas there teaming up together to drive the puck, but the referees have seen something, and it looks like an illegal use of the stick, a stick infringement on either the body or the bat. And again, it accidentally, but after he flicked it, he sort of reached in. Obviously, he didn't do it deliberately because he would be sitting on the bench. In our game, if it's a deliberate and interpreted by the referees who only see it, it's deliberate. If it is deliberate, then they'll be sitting on the bench. But obviously, it wasn't because they've just been asked to move back 3 meters in the Canadian own possession. And you can see Coach Jordan there signaling, guys, that way's the goal, and right he is. And his players responded, but unfortunately, they've been pulled up. And Chief Referee John from the USA has asked the Canadian players to back themselves up, and the referees line up, and the French have the puck for their free puck.
Yeah, we've seen quite a lot of hockey on the wall this game. Not such an open game, which is great when they're on this wall, but when they're on the far wall, it's a bit hard to see what's going on.
Yes, and we have a lovely lying referee in the flanks, but he's positioning himself. I know it interferes with our cameras, Romy, but he's right there, and as you can see, he's seeing exactly what's going on. And whilst it'd be nice to have an invisible referee so we can see what's going on, he needs to be there so he can see what's going on, doesn't he?
Yeah, we've had a wonderful tournament from the referees, actually. I've heard very few complaints, and we've got some very experienced referees in the pool, and also some developing referees, such as Belle from Australia. Great to have her here at her first Worlds refereeing.
This is her first.
Yeah, this is the first Worlds she'll be refereeing. I think she might have done some refereeing at Nationals as well.
Yeah, she was here also with the Trans-Tasman getting some experience. I've seen her a lot at the Nationals doing some refereeing, but I thought she already had one under her belt, but obviously not. It's good to see her, and she's really keen, really learning. I see a few of the referees taking them under her wing and helping her out in their positioning and stuff, but she's making a call there, obstructions against the French, and they'll be asked to move back, and the Canadians will be looking for a bit of reprieve from that, and it's... the Canadians will take a deep breath, and they can have possession of that puck for a little bit, and we're moving back for this. And we're still 9 minutes left to go in this game. We're only 6-0. The Canadians got a long hill to climb to get back in this game, but they're holding their own. But that French onslaught, I think you've played against the French in some of the junior games, have you not?
I don't think. No, unfortunately, I've never played the French. The French have brought an under-23 women's team to our tournament just for the first time. They're doing quite well in the under-23 women's divisions. They'll be clashing with Australia later today. If you can catch that game, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah, you were in. You came to Hungary with us, weren't you? In Hungary?
Yeah, I've played 2 Worlds tournaments. I played in Hungary in 2013 and in Castellon in 2015.
Was it both with the under-19s or with you with the 23s?
I played with the under-19s in Iga and with the 23s in Hungary.
And did you notice much difference in the level of play between the two divisions, or were they pretty similar?
Well, certainly a lot of players... we've just had a goal here. I'll come back to this in a minute. We'll see if the refs allow this one.
Yeah, it looked like number 6 there, who's adjusting his straps and mask, and it's either 7 or 6. So we have either Lucas Frontin or Thomas Griffin, who scored that goal away for confirmation from the bench, and Romy's got that in. It's his number 7, Thomas Griffin. I think that's his second or third of this game, as the French have taken a 7-0 game with a lead in this game over the Canadians, who have yet to score on the board, register a score on the board, with 8 minutes left to go in the game.
Yeah, coming back to the under-23s and the under-19s, certainly there is a gap between the competition, especially in the men's tournament. You can definitely see with these older boys, they're much stronger and they understand the gameplay a lot better. They rarely make the same mistakes the under-19s do.
Yep, and as the French yet again pester the Canadian goals, but the Canadians This is the first time I've seen a nice, strong defensive line by the Canadians, but they have opened up a gap, and as the French try to come back through it, and the Canadians need to recycle quicker, or we're going to have another one in the trough, and it looks like the referees are making a call. It was hard to see because there were so many bodies on the bottom. Yes, it was a goal, and it looks like number 6 this time, maybe Lucas, but is that what you saw, Romy?
Yeah, I saw number 6 there as well. We'll go with number 6, Lucas Phaeton. Lucas
Yep.
Phaeton there.
You got to put your French accent on there, Romy. Lucas Fretin.
Phaeton.
You multilingual, Romy?
No.
Just Australian and English, is it?
Yeah, I can speak very broken French, but that won't stop me.
Is that Parisian French or French Canadian? You know, you have to talk like this.
Definitely Parisian there. We've just had a timeout called.
Yeah. Who called the timeout? Was that a Canadian timeout and give his boys a bit of a rest?
Yeah, it looks to me, if we just pull up to the overhead camera here, it looks to me like it's Canadian timeout.
Yeah, the Canadian coach Jordan Fry's a very experienced senior campaigner, and likely to be joining us in Hawaii, where the elite teams from Australia, New Zealand, Canada, U.S., and Barbarians team made up of some Colombians, South Africans will be joining us in a training comp type an arrangement we're having in Hawaii to take advantage of. The next Worlds are in a 3-meter pool in Quebec City, and speaking to some of the Canadians, whilst they're concentrated on this event, they're looking forward to the future with a Worlds being home, and everyone will be there, learning. And I'm sure this young Canadian team, if some of them are a part of that senior team, they'll be certainly there looking to for some development opportunities as we're underway with 6 minutes 50 to go in this second half of the under 23 match between France and Canada. France have a commanding lead of 8-0 over the Canadians, Romy.
Yeah, and we've just had Frank here on the live chat saying, Allez! Bienvenue, Frank. That's about it. That's all I can say to you. But thank you on the live chat. If you're watching from home, definitely hit us up. It's great to hear from you.
Merci. And that was a big Go Blues, very typical. The French always like calling them Blues. If you've ever been to a French world soccer match or a rugby match, Romy, you'll hear that LA Blues all the time. Thank you, Franco94. Is it Franco? Franco. Thank you very much for the chat. I hope you're enjoying this live streaming. If you want to let us know what time it is, quelle heure est-il in le français, or that would be very good of you to provide us that, because we haven't got the world clock here running. There's no clocks on the wall for us here, other than we know what time it is in Hobart. But we have 5 minutes and 60 seconds left, 40 seconds left to go, as the Canadians are trying to extreme some dominance in this half to try to get first blood. And I'm hoping they get a goal in this half, Romy, because that will then double their current scores that they have in their things. They haven't had many goals against them, but they haven't scored many goals, and unfortunately, to win a game, you have to actually have more goals than the opposition.
Yeah, I'd love to see the Canadians score here. Seem to have scored just one goal this tournament. It'd be wonderful to see them put the one in the tray or the net or whatever it is the French call it.
Yes, and I'm sure Coach Levic from the French doesn't want a goal, because placement at this time in the competition dictates who you're going to meet in the finals. And you certainly do, if you're in the French, in the middle of the pack, you don't want to be playing some of the top teams, which is at this stage Turkey, New Zealand at the top of that, followed by it looks like Great Britain. It's too far away. I can't read that.
We've got Colombia sitting in third.
Colombia,
and the French
France. So we do have France in fourth, with that bottleneck with France, South Africa, and Australia. And Australia won their match, so they move up. French are likely to win this match, so they stay pretty easy, even on this. And we're looking forward to seeing what happens. And as I was saying, it could come down to goal differentials. So I'm sure the French coach here, Levic, he's trying to discipline his team to hold their structure, play our game plan. Let's not be heroic here. Let's keep it, because we have a very tight game this afternoon, and I think about 6 o'clock, where the French take on the Australians. And again, come down to the pool if you're here in Australia at the Hobart Aquatic Centre. There's seats. It'll be a packed house tonight, as it is last night. And again, if you're not joining us live on the streaming where it's free, I can't believe it's free. I keep astounded by that, Rami. I don't know. You've been to a few worlds. Have you ever found live free streaming for hockey?
I'm not even sure if we were streaming in Eager in 2013, but certainly in Castellon 2 years ago, we did have to pay for the streaming. And without wanting to take a dig at the Spanish here, the streaming quality has definitely improved in these 2 years.
Well, they did have live streaming. It was nonstop on a particular day. And court, and remember there were 4 courts in Hungary. Unfortunately, there was a bit of a blunder in Agar, and very disappointing that the tiles was scrubbed with some sort of acid and caused the shininess that we hold love and dear here in Hobart with the slipperiness of the pool was rubbed off, and it turned into a very grit fest. And not only they added to that, they had a few days of rain, and the pools turned to a cloudiness, and unfortunately they moved a lot of the games back into the indoor court, but they did have live streaming. It was good, but we also had problems with the cameras and in the fogging and stuff, and they didn't use the helium as the French numbers on the bottom pressing on the Canadian goals, and we got one referee signaling she's looking around, everyone's saying goal. Yeah, she hasn't seen him. He's gone down for the puck, so I guess it was the goal scored. And it looks like number 3, Pierre Alain Laz, has scored a goal. I think that was his first one of the game. I don't remember trying to pronounce his name. And but 9-0, and 3 minutes left to go. Rami, I think the Canadians will try to be regrouping and make sure they get something out of this game and learn up and get prepared for the next game, who is South Africa later on today at 6:40.
Yeah, another tough game for the Canadians coming up. Certainly they'll be looking not to concede another goal and just keep it out of their tray for as long as they can. It'd be great if they could keep that score below 10.
Yeah, and just on that, the French made a wonderful breakthrough, but unfortunately the referee has called a foul against them. Obviously they did something that the referees weren't happy with, and pushing them back. And he's signaling the other referee, who's quickly putting the puck into position. And the other one, the referee is looking to single out one of the French players and asking him, I'm sorry, but he's going to have to sit out for 1 minute. And the Canadians, I don't know if they'll like the advantage, because every time the French go to an advantage, they actually put more pressure on the Canadians, whether they like to play. And I'm sure that looked like number 12?
Number 6 in the bin there, I think, Dave.
Oh, number 6. You reckon Lucas Flanton has been sent to the bench for being a naughty boy.
Yeah, not too sure what he did there, but he will be spending a bit of time on the bench. The French still doing very well with just 5 men in the water. Seems like their whole team have just lifted there as the Canadians take it into the corner. And hopefully they'll just hold it there now, keep it out of their tray.
Ooh, I bet that hurt. Number 4, Nicolas Gramos, held the puck in there, but one of the Frenchmen swam straight into his elbow. He won't get called for elbowing. Obviously, the referee hasn't seen it, but he's got to keep his head up because he swam into the pointy end of things. It probably hurt the Canadian Remy there. Hey, Remy, he's almost like Rami, but with an E.
Yeah, I do have a French name, but don't let that fool you. I am Aussie born and bred.
Yeah, well, look at that. 5 players down. The Canadians have obviously an opportunity to score, but the French have dropped it into the tray. But unfortunately, the referees have seen something that the French had, and they've been asked to move back. And I'm afraid, as much as you would like to have a discussion with the referee, French player number 9, that would be Maxime FRA, the referees just got on with the game as they should. They'll see when they'll call, and they're trying to make it as fair as possible. And I must say, I've really enjoyed. I'm becoming a bit of a fan of the referees because of all the work they put in behind the scenes, Romy. You see them back in their room, getting there, discussing, and they're in groups of, a mixed group so that they don't wear each other out. But they come back, they do all their homework, they review the tapes, and here we see the French, and it looks like, number 7? No. Number 9, possibly. Yeah, number 9 by the looks of it. Maxime Plaisir, the person who was having a discussion with the ref, said, by the way, I'm taking the bit between my teeth, and he put it in himself, has put the the 10th goal in for Canada. Is that the 10th, Romy? Or
That is the
it
10th, yeah.
That was the 10th. And the Canadians have got to double figures of goals against them with none on the board. And we have, 20 seconds left to go in this half?
Yeah. And just on the subject of the referees, we do have their food being provided by Wing & Co. And we're very grateful for that because that food is also coming to us in the commentary box as well.
It's coming second hand, is it? We get the
We
leftovers
get the
from the refs.
leftovers.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah, but we are still very appreciative.
Oh, yeah, Wing & Co. food is just fantastic. Marie Wickham, two of her daughters are playing in here. She's been a long-term supporter of underwater hockey here in Glen. Are always down here at the pool. Glen plays. Maria hasn't. She not only does food, but she makes some wonderful socks that we all wear, Lycra socks on her things, and she supplies that very at a low cost to her players. And she's always, sending us some food at those immense training camps that we have here, and not many of them. As the game draws to an end, we have a 10-0 lead win by the French over the Canada team, and I'll try to see if move to the deck and see if we can get some interviews with some of the players, Romy, and I'll leave you back here in the booth. But I've got to leave the court for the day, and I'll leave you in Romy's hand. And thank you for joining me, Romy. You were doing a marvelous job switching, calling the deck, and calling the game. Well done.
Yeah, thank you so very much, Dave. It's been great to have you here. Now, Dave's commentated the last 4 games in this court. That's about 3.5 hours there of his hard work putting in to reach out to you guys. We're very appreciative for those who are watching on the stream. A wonderful game there from the French. They definitely controlled the puck for the vast majority of that game, and you can see some great sportsmanship there as the teams shake hands as the French go over and say thank you to the referees for their hard work. Certainly a very clean game from both teams, with just one kick out for the entire game. Wonderful work from the refs, playing advantage wherever possible to keep the game moving. And we see the Canadians coming over now to say their thank yous. And so next in this court, we'll have the under-23 French women playing the under-23 Australian women. Be an interesting clash. The Australians sitting in third, and I believe the French might be in 5th or 6th. I'll just bring that up for you now. And we should be crossing over to Dave shortly.
Hi, I'm Dave Lambert, deck side here. After an exciting game in Court 2, we had the French triumphing over the Canadian team of 10-0 over the Canadian team. A dominant exhibition by the French in their structured, disciplined game. I'm sure the coach, Luis, would be very happy with their play. I'll try to get one of the French players over to join us for a bit of a chat, but they're all probably heading into the warm-down pool to warm down because they have another game this afternoon, and we'll see if we can get any of the Canadians or the French to join us for a quick comment on their game. But stay with us, and we got another exciting game coming up on the pool deck with the Australian under-23 women to play. So just bear with us. Yeah, look, unable to get some of the players with us because they're all heading for the pool. They got games later today, and they're wanting to do. Hold on, we might have a Canadian number 7 coming to join us. Looks like he's heading this way. We'll try to grab him, get a few words from him. Matt to say hello to his friends, and yep, he's coming on. He's got his tapes all fitted up, and yeah, welcome, bonjour, and welcome, number 7. Introduce yourself, and the camera's down that way if you want to introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Jean-Philippe Langelier, and I'm from Quebec.
Sorry about that. You okay?
Yeah.
You're from Quebec. Looking forward to the next game. You got another game this afternoon?
Yeah, against South Africa. Yeah.
Yes. And what was your game plan for today against a well-drilled French team?
We were an unexperienced team, I'll say, and I think our main plan was to keep under single digit.
Just missed out on that one. I can see you guys fighting hard in that game, trying to keep the number under 10. We were rooting for you in the commentary booth, but they were pretty well drilled, that team, and had you exposed at a number of your weaknesses. But they are an experienced team, so you guys should be pretty proud of what you have.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. Any messages for the folks at home before we have to cut the stream off?
I'll talk to them in French.
Yes,
Donc,
absolutely.
donc merci. Salut tout le monde à la maison. Salut papa, maman. Salut Camille. Puis on a hâte de vous voir. Salut.
Thank you very much, and good luck in the game against South Africa this afternoon.
Thanks.